the years in interviews, on his shows, the way he talks about things. And it's not to say like it started there, but I think what happened is he got comfortable. There's a lot of drugs in entertainment. We've all seen it. And he got carried away. He has some issues that were wherever his issues stem from. He had power. People were scared of him, which also happens. I've seen it happen. It happens amongst lawyers. And you end up turning into this thing that he probably lost control of, honestly.
I don't want us to be like to go over the fact that it doesn't really matter if he did all of these things with all of these allegations coming out now. Like, of course, there's some people may not believe everything everybody says, which is always a dangerous thing anyway, in the slippery slope. However, this is a black man, so him living this down is just not the same as for somebody else. Like, he's black. Let's not act like that doesn't play a factor in this.
Yeah, and his charges is everything that's against what he stand for. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he say he love and he try to market all these things to us, and we see that he a despicable person with how he treats others. But when it comes to us, just accept it. Everything that somebody says about him to make it be true without fact. I mean, that's the same problem that we've always had in America. And in America, we the main ones as
Always.
black people that say that the system is so corrupt. It's just hard for us to take every single thing that everybody say and to make it be 100% true. Of course, he's not, as far as marketing, of course, I don't think he'll be able to live it down because it's so much against everything that we stand for, especially in our community, all the freaky stuff and the exploitation of women and all the violence. But I think it happens quite often. And I definitely don't think he can survive this as far as marketing. But as far as getting money, he can invest in real estate. There's so many things that you can get money from that you don't have to have a public persona for. I think he'll be fine when it comes to get money. But as far as him being with us again, he can't come back. We let OJ come back because we felt like maybe OJ didn't do it, or so many people got away with things that we have to give it a pass because when it comes to the OJ thing, it really wasn't. It really didn't make sense, or it really was hard for us to believe that he could have done that with the limited amount of evidence that he had.
How do we let OJ come back? Please explain that.
I think we brought OJ back. We started letting, Cam them brought him back.
Did
You
we
know,
get rid of
That
OJ?
was
I
after
think that was
they-
a white awakening for people when it came to OJ. I don't remember black people actually giving a fuck about what OJ did, if I be completely honest.
Nah, you're wrong about that. That was huge in the black community. That
I'm
was
not
huge in
saying
the
it
black
wasn't
community.
huge, but I was living in Florida at the time, and nobody, all the black people I know, that there were even some people that would say, "Oh yeah, he did it," but it was pretty much like we don't care. That seemed more like almost like what do you call retribution or something like that. Like that, I didn't see. I seen a lot of uproar, especially on TV, from white people about OJ.
Yeah, but specifically with regards to Diddy and OJ, they'll both live in infamy, but Diddy's crimes just touch so many people, like, or like his lifestyle affected so many people negatively. You know what I'm saying? And like, we love our people, we love our women, and things of that nature. We all saw the videos, and so it's like it's out there. Like, we
No, we
can't
don't. That's
we
not
can't.
true. We don't. That's nothing about anything y'all have seen from us over the years says that we love any of that. Like we still do R. Kelly shit. We still watch the Cosby Show. Like y'all don't think
People
Diddy can
going
get
at Halle
past this?
Halle
Y'all are nuts.
Bailey. You got people going
I'm
at
not gonna lie. I love
Meg
it
Thee
secretly.
Stallion.
I
You got
love it
people going.
secretly, but I don't slide. I don't slide around listening to R. Kelly openly, and you know what I'm saying. Like, I don't. Like, you know what I'm saying. Like, I put him on ice for real. You
And
know what I'm
again,
saying.
this is a new day, and with the social media,
Yeah.
I guess you can say influence or the social media heaviness or whatever, people are just more pressure as time gets on to give consequences a little bit more harsher. And Diddy is just getting the best of it that we've ever seen.
Huh? What?
I'm
What's the?
forgetting.
What the? Hey Nick, fill me in on what's going on.
No, so the call is about marketing Diddy. I asked everybody at the beginning of this call, like, can his brand recover from this trial? Assuming again,
Branding wise, I'm saying no.
Oh, what happened?
Uh
the
oh,
original
Nick.
premise. Yeah, call came in. My bad. The premise
Yeah.
was assuming he gets out or kind of shakes this whole thing. Can he recover? Can he go back to TV, movies, Ciroc, the clothes, the cologne, the commercials, all the stuff? And he stand next to an artist in 2025 and beyond after all of this. And
If he found not
that's
guilty, I think if he's found not guilty, yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah,
Nah.
he found not guilty, yeah.
Yeah, and
That's a
that's
lot.
what I'm
That's a
saying.
lot. I mean, that's a lot to like. A not guilty is a not guilty. I'm not saying he is not guilty. I'm saying he's not guilty. What you gonna do? You gonna still judge somebody off of being not if they're found not guilty for the crimes
The
that they
general
say you
verdict.
committed? Cool.
Well, so what I'm thinking is he won't have that social support. His social equity is dead at this point because at the end of the day, people would stand next to him because he was in business and business was going well. His money was up. Like you still needed him from a branding standpoint. Everybody knew he partied too hard. Everybody knew he was weird and creepy, like behind closed doors. But nobody felt comfortable outing him. But once people feel comfortable outing you, they're not gonna, in my opinion, not gonna go back to they feel comfortable outing you because outing you is putting you on the outs. They don't. I don't think they're gonna let him back in. So I think he will be able to do a book tour because people will want to know the inside story. They'll want to hear it from him. But he'll be able to do his book tour. But I don't think he'll be able to. He won't go back to the Ciroc. Not culturally, in my opinion.
Well, again, not guilty is not guilty. That's all I'm saying. I mean, people are siding with Diddy already. It's kind of a 50-50 when it comes to Diddy right now. I guess the court of public opinion is like it's 50-50.
Yeah.
I ain't seen that. What they saying?
okay.
I ain't
So
seen no.
so 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 Isaac.
What do you mean
So
you ain't
so hold
seen
on.
that?
So hold
I ain't
on,
seen no
Isaac.
50-50 people siding with Puff. Siding with Puff about what?
Yeah, because they're like, all these women was and they was with it.
Yes,
It was a cash
I've seen
grab. It
that.
was a money grab.
Hmm.
This is all about sex. This is not a RICO.
That's
This is
people not understanding what RICO is.
no, but hold on. We've even talked about this in the audio room that Lawyer Bay does. There has never been anybody charged with RICO in this fashion ever. Never.
Okay.
So there's never been anybody challenged in a RICO in this fashion ever. And I'm not like again, I'm not talking about guilt or innocence. I'm saying there's if you wanted to charge, you could probably charge half of Hollywood with a RICO charge. If you needed to prove a RICO of two of the eight conditions, which are sex trafficking and drug trafficking. So how many celebrities do you think in the last 50 years have flown hookers back and forth to LA and Vegas and drugs back and forth to LA and Vegas on private planes? That's sex trafficking, that's drug trafficking. Those are the two criteria of the eight you need to convict somebody on a RICO to take their wealth and take everything they have.
Well,
What did
but
what did they charge Harvey Weinstein with?
I think it's charged for sexual assault.
yeah, that was different.
Okay.
But see, here's the thing: we know, Isaac. In order for someone to get you dirty and move you out the way, they don't need these charges to stick. They just need to get you dirty and get you out the way. That like
No, that's not
I'm not
enough.
saying it's not a hit job because we definitely felt like someone pushed a button on him because one minute he was chilling, next minute he's in prison. You know what I'm saying? But and your money's frozen, so it was definitely a hit job. But that shit is intentional. And even if the charges don't stick, like they did their job. They ruined him publicly. His branding opportunities are definitely going to shrink to minimal. Like so, the damage is done. They don't need the charges.
Let me tell you this. Everything that's being talked about in court right now was pretty much in Cassie's lawsuit, and even after the video was released. And I think Diddy went to Rolling Loud after that with bodyguards and walked through the crowd and went and looked at people and went outside. Like he not going he not gonna run from that. I doubt it. He
Okay,
gonna
so
go.
let's all
But
right. So let's
here's
so
the
let's get back
thing
to.
that
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
here's the thing because I'm hearing a lot, but one thing that I don't hear a lot of people talking about is that he was everybody's employer in this situation. He had Cassie under a 10 album contract, right? So he was an employer. To me, that's more of what the RICO charges are than everything else. Yes, they have to prove two out of the um 8 charges, but employment law is very, very, very tricky. And when you're using your companies to cover up this type of behavior, then that becomes a problem. And it's
Hold
bigger
on, wait.
than
Vanny, you're
Mhm.
again in the last 50 years. You don't think celebrities have used their companies to buy drugs and do sex trafficking? Like what I'm saying is
To
that
beat
if
people up,
what
to cover up beating
yeah,
people up.
absolutely. Are you? Come on. Are you really? Are you in L.A. in Hollywood, like L.A.? I'm not. I'm talking about white people. I'm talking about I'm talking about famous people.
But to be quite honest, I really think that he got caught because there was a video. Had there not been a video, people wouldn't give a fuck. To be quite honest,
They wouldn't be
and
giving a
as
fuck
soon as one
publicly.
person turned, the line of people started turning as
That's
well.
not why he
And the
got
thing
caught.
about okay,
Yeah, this ain't about Cassie. They could
He
give a
didn't.
fuck about
He
Cassie.
didn't. The statute of limitations ended on why on the video of beating Cassie, and that video is out there. The reason he got in trouble is because he didn't pay Cassie. Because once he didn't pay Cassie, she filed a lawsuit, and everything that he's being charged with was in her lawsuit. So all the RICO was in her lawsuit. So if he would have paid her, that lawsuit would have never been filed, and then all that would have been sealed, and she would have never been able to talk about it. So the feds wouldn't have access to be able to look at the lawsuit and say, "That's a crime. That's 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 a crime." Or we got a RICO here, and be able to do that. That's the only reason he's in this mess right now is because he didn't pay her when she demanded to be paid.
But
That's
okay,
a
so Isaac, because like I guess that the whole topic is marketing of him, right? Like that's what marketing is for. Like you, Martha Stewart came back from jail and fucking marketed the shit out of herself.
There we
That's a
go.
white
Talk
Tell me,
woman.
about it, Johan.
you trying to
Oh
tell
shit.
me that this motherfucker with all of these charges, even Michael Jackson with the amount of times he got accused of some shit, still came back. Like
Michael.
Plenty of
marketing, the
time.
beauty of marketing is flipping the switch. Like give it a couple of years, spends time and everyone's quiet. Because when it's not on the mind, that's the beauty of marketing, right? It's the manipulation of the psyche. Like the perfect kind of marketing has everything to do with psychology. So like personally, I think he's gonna be just fine. Like
Damn. She said the
what the
beauty of
fuck?
Nick. She said the
Hold on.
beauty of
And,
marketing.
and
Hello.
that's why I want to have the call today. Well, a couple of things. 10:30, so it's the midpoint of the call, Gary. I want to start bringing up people from the audience,
She brought
but I
some
definitely
people
want
up.
my stage to talk as well. But the reason I brought up the call is because in this social media area, and I would say especially like since maybe definitely since the pandemic, maybe 2018, 2019, a couple years before, we've seen people with scandals that have blown over in weeks, months, and everybody kind of went back to normal. And as crazy as the details are, salacious as the details are, as much of all these details have been social media fodder, and we're like, "Ooh, did you hear about the thing he did and the thing he said? And did you see the video and see the freaky shit that was in the text message and da 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 da?" And all these people and it's famous people involved. I don't know that this kills his brand, and that's wild to me because I don't. I mean, I don't think I don't see myself picking up a bottle of Ciroc anytime soon, but that's because I don't really care for Ciroc. But also, I guess the question becomes like, if he goes back, because I think Tiff told me, I think they're talking about possibly bringing in like a Sabrina Carpenter or somebody else to kind of be the new face. Like they're trying to completely remove Diddy from that shit. But like, can Diddy show back up on a Ciroc commercial, sunglasses, dancing on the beach, shirt off, doing the thing,
No.
jewelry on,
Absolutely not.
No.
and get his shit off?
Absolutely not.
I
No.
think that
No.
depend. I think that depends on whether he's
I
found
would
guilty or not guilty. If he's found not guilty, I would say, yeah, there's an opportunity. If I say he's found guilty, then no, because if he's found guilty, he's going to go to jail, and they're going to take all his money. They're going to
but
take everything, every asset that he owns. They're going to take it.
But
but
even if he's
Isaac, do
not
you not
guilty,
think that that would be a public suicide for a company to attach themselves back to
Thank
Diddy?
you for asking that question because that is where I was going with that. Who wants to be the company to stick him on something?
Well,
It
hello
depends
everybody.
on what he's selling.
Hey Mike. So
it's got to
introduce
be
yourself.
nasty.
Tell us, Mike. Tell us where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Baltimore, Maryland.
Welcome, Baltimore. What would you like to add to the conversation?
So real quick, I'm I'm a Diddy fan.
Okay.
I'm not a Diddy fan of abuse. Okay,
I mean, yeah, he was
but
winning
I
for a long
but
time.
I Diddy has in people's homes just as well as R. Kelly. For years he's made this industry. He is hip hop.
Diddy is a very smart person,
Yeah.
whether Diddy goes to jail or not. Like Isaac said, like the other young lady said, he already liquidated his assets. Okay. And his mama name, his son's name, shell corporations, money in other countries, or whatever the situation may be, Um, Diddy, it was told that Diddy actually itself is the one who's setting up the lawsuits. So he's gonna have to constantly keep going to court, which is a very smart marketing strategy. Okay. Um, I just don't see, like Isaac said, listen, I got a swingers, okay, whatever you
Sure.
call
Other people.
yeah, I got a thing. I'm gonna hurry up. I got a swingers thing in the back of me, right? Like Isaac said, people been doing this for years, but see, we ain't got that money that Diddy got. Flying people out, all that other type of stuff. That's what this is all about. Public humiliation, like Isaac said, because he didn't pay Cassidy. We just like, oh, well, we ain't gonna mess with him because we hear the stuff that he's been doing. But before this, we was messing with him, and half of us really didn't even mess with him then.
Thank
All
you
we
for
Yeah,
have to do is open up a new fucking corporation. It's really not that complicated. And if we're really focusing on marketing, bruh, like I'm gonna be honest, the names you haven't heard is the concern here, because the names you haven't heard means that Diddy's keeping his motherfucking mouth quiet. So do you really think, if even if he's convicted and comes out, that this man is not gonna get himself back up because people he did not name isn't gonna like support? Like, come on, people. Like it's really not hard to go bankrupt, get all your assets frozen, and open up another freaking company, and get the best part of marketing experts to finagle ways once the people have quietened down and moved on to the next drama. Like, be
Mhm.
serious.
No, but hold on. When they do a RICO, they don't care if you put in your mama's name or hit it overseas. They come and take all the money because RICOs were designed to go after like the mafia. So you really try to defund. Try to defund an entire person's wealth because it's built as a criminal enterprise. That's why when you look at the way that he's being charged, and I don't know if everybody's seen that clip of Sammy the Bull online saying everything that they're talking about in this trial, Diddy could be charged with individually, all those things, racketeering, the drug trafficking, sex trafficking. He could be charged in all this thing. The reason that they put it all together is because they're also trying to take his wealth. Okay, and if you get charged with a RICO, and that's what I'm saying is that they take everything. Like you don't
But
they.
but wealth can be acquired again. That's what I'm saying.
I understand at the age of 50, but if you're a billionaire and somebody takes $1 billion from you or $1 billion worth of assets at 50 years old, I'm not gonna say you're gonna get it right back. I'm not saying he'll be broke ever again, but he ain't gonna be what people were talking about when they take everything. Like they take assets, IP, they take all of it. It's all gone because it's a RICO.
You're saying that's not automatic though, third, because what would have showed you if that would have happened is what they do under law called pre-trial seizure, and they didn't have a pre-trial seizure prior to actually starting the trial, and with the traditional RICOs, because again, he's not under the RICO in the equivalent manner that drug enterprises were. So traditionally, they'll do a pre-trial seizure where they'll freeze the assets even before the ruling comes down, if the person is guilty or not guilty. So it's not that linear to say that they'll take all of his assets, because this is Johan's correct. This is relative because they may not come after all of his particular assets. And in addition to that, there's no retroactive way to extrapolate the assets. That's why you hear in a lot of fair cases as well. Once they move some of the money, it's just say, oh well, it's still money out there we can't find. It happened with Bernie Madoff. It's billions of dollars that the feds couldn't find because there is no way for them to say, oh, we know that they moved this to the Cayman Islands. We know that they did a Dutch switch structure. So we're going to be able to actually take the capital. So even if they actually take his capital, the question then becomes, how much are they taking and where are they actually taking it from? Whether it's going to be Bad Boy Records or Combs Global, which was priorly known Cone Enterprises. Then the second question is, can they find all of his assets? So it's not that linear. I'm just saying that for the sake of the room. It's a lot of people here. I'm going on mute.
Thank
Hey,
you for
so
that.
so great point. I don't want to get buried in the minutia of the finances. I definitely want to keep it as a marketing conversation. So Like I said, I really just want to focus on if you think you can get it back. Side note, before we get to the next comment, though, I do want to ask everybody. This is real quick. This quick yes or no. And I love to see either emojis here, up here on the stage or in the chat. Do y'all still think that slut shaming kind of works? I mean, I think with social media, people just evolving more, being more exposed to different things. I think even with these crazy details, when people look at Diddy, Cassie, everybody involved, like I think those old days of like, oh my God, she's such a whore, he's such a freak. I don't think that cancels you out from much. I don't even think slut shaming really works no more in like 2025. Like, but I would love to see in the chat just quick yes or no or thumbs up, thumbs down, like something. Like I said, let me know. Do y'all think slut shaming worked in 2025?
All right, so Jamal and then Jerry, let us know.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody?
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you. What's up, Gary? What's happening, brother? What's
Life
going
is
on,
good.
Nick, Isaac, everybody on the stage, Jeff? What's happening?
What up?
Look, I'm a Diddy fan. Everybody should know that. With that being said, excuse the background. I feel like black people are forgiving people. Let me say that again. Black people are forgiving people. We did it with OJ. In the long run, we could do it with him. You know why we're forgiving people? Majority of the black people are Christian. All he has to do is go towards that lane right there. Get some great damaged reputation people. Go towards that lane right there, along with also um, getting on the domestic violence, going to that lane, becoming a spokesperson for that. Therefore, things can turn back around if he's found out guilty, or if it's a mistrial, or if it's a hung jury.
Interesting.
I think what people are kind of sleeping on is forgetting is that he's already done this. Like he did this with the Shine thing. He went to church and he did all this stuff and he was forgiven. But here he is again. I don't know if it's going to work twice. He did all the. Jamal's not wrong on what he's saying, but I'm saying it seems like Puff has played that playbook once before, and it definitely worked. But I don't know if it's going to work again.
So he probably won't be forgiven from people that just take a hard stance on some of the things that he's done. But I heard Johan mention earlier, the marketing is a very slippery slope because there are some people that quietly support the behavior that he instituted, but they would never publicly say it, which means that they would always agree with Diddy. There are a lot of billionaires. I mean, think about it. You have Islamic countries that believe women shouldn't even show their face when they're out in public. So for all of the misogynistic men, which are a lot of them, they're going to support Diddy's behavior. They actually don't want him to go to jail because then they can't do the things that they've been doing to women for years. And then for all of the men that quietly hate women, that they probably wouldn't emphasize it publicly, but you can see it bestowed in their behavior when they don't give women power in the workforce. They don't really support higher pay for women. So I don't understand how people think all of a sudden that bunch of men that's been like this to women for years, and you hear all these secret recordings of Trump and how he talks, they call it locker room talk, are going to suddenly want Diddy to get in trouble. If anything, they don't want Diddy to be the spokesperson because he's too famous for behavior that they want to continue.
All right,
So if anything,
Dwayne.
a lot of these guys actually want Diddy to get off for the sake of them being able to continue the behavior that he bestowed upon a lot of these women. I'm
One
going on mute.
question. One
Well,
question, Dwayne.
hold on one second, because I want to say something too though about that, because I think Durant makes a great point, but I think he
Yeah,
spoke to something. He said these people agree with it, but they can't stand next to it. They can't say it out loud, and that's part of the whole branding and marketing part of it.
exactly.
If you can't stand next to it, if
Yeah.
you can't openly say, "Yeah, that's my guy," if you can't be seen at the party with him, if you can't be seen having a drink with him, if you can't be seen having the meeting with him, then
Where's the
ultimately
equity?
he still has the problem. Like the
Right.
problem is that he's a little, his brand has now become toxic. It used to be
with, with,
cool to
with the
stand
black
next to Diddy.
guys, with the
Oh,
black guys. The
I'm
white
sure.
guys
I
will
mean,
definitely stand next to him.
you think so? Okay.
Yep.
Yes, because the white
Yep.
guys don't care. The white guys don't care
Yep.
about what lower level society thinks.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
So real
I
quick.
agree.
Good morning, Lawyer Bay. How are you? That's uh
All right.
driving, so y'all probably hear a lot of background noise.
Well, feel free to talk instead of jumping in the chat. I see you jumping in the chat. Feel free to let's to speak.
I didn't want
Oh,
Ladera,
to.
welcome to the
I
stage.
didn't want to interrupt while people were getting their thoughts out.
For
So
sure.
that's why I went to the chat. So I'm glad that y'all saw the chat because I listen. I playing with God. Do not ever get on here in God's face and talking about go and rebrand and playing God's face. God sees everything. And it just irks my spirit to hear a proper, a propaganda. But this is something to play with.
Yeah,
This
this
man
is a
has,
marketing call.
oh yeah, I know.
Yeah,
But
propaganda is a
this
thing.
man has played and disrespected God as if marketing is going to bring him back to life. God knew exactly what he was doing when he opened Pandora's box on him.
Yeah, that's the question. Will marketing
Uh,
bring him back to life?
well,
no,
hold
it
on.
won't. With
Hold on. A couple things. Well, one of the things, Lori Bay does an audio room every day on Fanbase about the Diddy trial at 9:30 EST. She's the one that knows about the RICO and about the fact that if he gets found guilty, they'll take all of his assets. I know I wanted her to speak to that because I heard what Duran said too, but she can speak to the fact of knowing that they'll take all the stuff he got.
So
yeah.
that and will marketing bring him back to life? Two
Go
great
ahead.
questions you just raised.
So to start with the RICO, yes, his assets are going away. He would when you get a federal indictment, or even a state indictment, what they have to do is include a forfeiture of assets. So if you have been paying attention throughout this trial, they have been laying the framework for every organization that is tied to his corporation, which is intertwined in the enterprise. They have already, and he knows this, his lawyers know what companies are up and which assets they are trying to seize. Once, if he's found guilty, because I'm not on the jury, so whatever they decide, if they decide to find him guilty, all of his assets go with them. And the only individuals that can touch those assets are any victims that would receive a judgment in their favor. So this is the reason why he has so many lawyers is because this is bigger than just a RICO or the offenses or the crimes that they have charged him with. They know he stands to lose everything. Why do you think that I would say this is also political. Everything in the criminal justice system is political. Why do you think they allowed the Abercrombie and Fitch, who is notorious, who is worse, in my opinion, and has more victims than Diddy, to get out on a $5 million bail? When they would not allow Diddy to put 50 million, some cash, property, and assets up because they know what they want in the end. They know he was going to get out and um, maintain. I don't want to say no because he was out there wilding when he knew he was being investigated. So I can't even speak that because he already proved that wrong. But put up a lot.
Right.
So they don't want him out on $1 million because they want to maintain. They want the assets. He's a black man that obtained that kind of wealth in this kind of country and had that kind of influence. He's coming for
Yeah.
all of those assets. That's why they added it in there.
Yeah, that's what I thought once he got into the cannabis.
Shout out to Lori Bay. I met her in Lou's room, but let the record reflect. She literally said everything that I said. I started
Yeah,
off saying that they have to prove forfeiture, like literally verbatim, said everything I said. But just for the sake of the room, so the legal grounds come from 18 USC section 1963. And there are types of forfeiture: criminal forfeiture after conviction. Then they have civil forfeiture, even without a conviction, they can still actually convict under the absence. Yes, sweetheart. 1 second. Pretrial asset restraints, which I actually talked about. That's 21 USC section 853E. Now, here's the thing: the restraint of assets pretrial, but only if the government shows probable cause that the defendant committed the offense and the assets are subject to forfeiture. It's literally the same thing I said, but I said it short so I wouldn't take up too much space in the room. I'm
So
going on mute.
let
So,
me.
hold on, Gary. I want to say
There you
something
go.
though. To even what Lawyer Bay was saying. She said at the beginning, she spoke to God and playing in God's face, which I'm, hey, listen, I'm with you. On the flip side of that, though, she also made the statement of to think that marketing can get you out of it, and to I say, absolutely. Everybody on this call believes that.
1000%.
That's
I think
exactly
everybody
what
on this
marketing
call
is
believes
for.
that marketing. The reason we do this call is because we believe that marketing is such a powerful force and because it's so strong. I 100% believe that anybody, especially somebody in Diddy's position, believes that with enough marketing, therapy, for apologizing,
Even if
standing
he's
next to
right.
the right people, giving to the right charities, doing all the stuff, marketing can absolutely get him out of it. Now, he might be right, he might be wrong, but to say that someone shouldn't believe that that's the case. I think that the reason I even do this call and the reason I even got to this is because I've seen marketing, to speak to Johan's point earlier, marketing influence people's psychology and psyche and beliefs and your reputation. If you can market your reputation enough, you can get away with a lot of shit because
Hey,
people believe you to be a good person, a certain type of person. So if you play it a certain way, people are like, "What? No, Nick would never do that. I know Nick. Nick's such a great guy, and I
But
could be the
Twitter,
worst
Nick
person in the
would.
world." Twitter.
Court is marketing. To your point, Nick, the whole process of them actually saying what they're saying about Diddy. Think about this. That's why I always find it interesting when people say, "Lawyer, listen, I'm going to say this for the 15,000th time. It's not the lawyer who knows the most law, but the one that best prepares the case that win." I literally today have 21 lawyers. Some of them are smart. Some of them can spell. Some of them can't. Some of them have a lot of typos in documents. It's not about a person deeming themselves a lawyer. It's easy to graduate and find a way to pass the bar. It's some lawyers that have never litigated. So they're creating marketing against Diddy, just basically how they're describing him. Imagine if Diddy was in the same level of trouble, but they were saying that he had a sickness. Think about the white kid that shoot up everyone else. If a black person shoot up, it's a thug. But if a white person, oh, they have a mental illness and we have to actually help them deal with this. So even how they're
Okay.
I
classifying Diddy is
hey, Nick.
marketing. I'm going on
And this
mute.
is
I think we're
I
forgetting the
told
power of
y'all
the
do
black
Ho-
not forget
community
this.
though, because like let's think about it. Martha Stewart in the white, like whatever she was prior, the black community self proclaimed literally got her out of it. She's able to do
she's
the
a
things
white
that she
woman.
did before because she attached herself to the black hip hop. Right? Let's be honest.
we
Like
like
we're
criminals.
negating the power that we
Oh,
have.
She went
okay,
over the
okay.
Snoop
Hey,
Point.
Nick.
angle.
What about the
Let
name
me
Tiger
let me
Woods?
add something.
Hold on. Dwayne, we got our resident white man is talking. Let me hear Dwayne. Thank you, Dwayne, because
Screaming.
it's been a minute since
Yeah.
you've been on the call. What you got, Dwayne?
What about the name Tiger Woods?
What about
He
it?
came. He
I
came
mean,
back. I mean, he did repeatedly.
Did he?
He Yeah, he repeatedly won the did things.
But
What
there's
you
a
talking
Yeah, he
about?
difference.
came back.
There's a
He
Kobe
won the
did
Did
difference.
he
too.
Masters in
come back with
2019.
black people?
That
Y'all
was a
don't fuck with
difference that what they
And
did
that
was
was
Black
just
correct.
people
infidelity,
don't fuck
though.
with Tiger.
Hold on. Let me explain something from the legal standpoint. And y'all have touched on, and this is something that when this happened in 2023, I reported on this. I said Diddy messed up when he went on a campaign to not just to give people their rights back. What he should have done at that moment, knowing what he was up against, because he had already got word about this book and about all of these things, he should have at that point start associating himself with domestic violence. He should have started associating himself with giving to Me Too movements, giving to women's organizations, creating grants for women's organizations. When he went to Invest Fest, he had an opportunity to market himself and give to women organizations. He missed a critical opportunity in the early stages that would have been a narrative that he could still spin to this day. So what we're talking about, and I'm glad Duran talked about having multiple different lawyers. I tell this to even legal teams. If you don't have a stellar crisis management team that is equipped to set up a proper strategy, i.e., go with your marketing. I ain't gonna leave that out there.
Marketing.
But if you don't have a proper crisis management team that can go in and change people's minds before they know that you are what the world is painting, this dirty, freaky man. So I agree that marketing has power. I also have to go back to he had the perfect opportunity and he missed that window of opportunity that has now landed him in playing from behind the ball than ahead of the ball.
All right.
I,
So
I,
Totally
I,
agree.
I
we
I
came
agree
out
with
Totally
with
that.
that
agree.
marketing.
He was just probably so arrogant, Lawyer Bay, to think he wasn't going to go to jail or even be brought on charges. That's probably why. But
That
to your
betrayal.
point, he better get out and be like, I got a sex problem. I don't know. I'm a fluid man. I love men. I love women. I love to see my lovers with other lovers. I need help. I just love sex too much.
Man,
Please, can you guys help me? He better
Jesus
take
Yes,
that
Christ.
angle now.
yes,
Yeah.
that's that.
The Rams for
Yes.
president. Wow. Hey, Lenore, what did you have before we get off the call?
Good morning,
Welcome
guys. Good
back to the
morning.
stage.
Hey, I just wanted to touch on
Sheesh,
how
Joanne. All right, my bad.
Diddy's early legal troubles began back at City College in New York when he was found liable for all those people getting trampled. You know, he got the best lawyers in terms of asset protection back when he was just Sean Puffy Combs, Puffy, now Diddy. Even if he gets convicted on the RICO, they're not going to be able to touch all those assets because he's
Mhm.
got stuff conjoined with Biggie's mother and his estate. So they're not going to go after everything. They just want the big stuff, probably that's, where he made all his money in liquor. If he does get off, black people are very forgiving. He ain't the first one to slap a chick up. We excuse a lot of nonsense, but I don't think the RICO's going to stick. But he will take a hit if he doesn't go to jail. I yield back.
It's gonna be like Duran said to me. You're gonna have to hang out with the white folks for about 10 years. I have to keep him afloat on his own private island.
Or if he just market to the people that feel like he being treated unfairly. Like it's a lot of people
And
in the black.
Oh, go the
Criminal
Trump
I
route.
mean,
justice
okay, so
reform.
early.
Nick, you going in and out, bro.
I don't. I'm with you on that. I don't know if he can stand next to criminal justice reform. And this isn't like
Yes,
the
he
Matrix. I'm
can.
over here by the office,
Yes, he
so forgive
can.
me. I don't know if he can go to the criminal reform thing like Meek Mill because I don't think people. Well, you know what? I take the bet. You know what? As I was talking out loud, you're right. There are some people who believe he getting railroaded. All he did was have sex with a bunch of chicks, or he was a little aggressive, whatever. There's a the contingency of people who believe that. So yeah, I mean, he might. You know what? Yeah, y'all might be right on that one. He might can't stand next to criminal reform or criminal justice reform.
Yeesh.
Um,
Marketing is a
I don't know.
beast.
I think. Well, let me ask y'all this. It, hypothetically, you have a product. You're selling a car. You're selling some clothes, some liquor, whatever.
Mm-mm.
Real quick, do you want Diddy as your spokesperson with all his
Mm-mm.
fame and notoriety and all that shit today?
Not
He
right
gets.
now.
Let's just go on with
No.
Isaac. Let's just go
Unless
with
I want
Isaac.
Trump
Isaac
too.
said he gets off. Let's just say Isaac said he's not guilty. They find him completely not guilty. Do you want Diddy promoting your thing tomorrow?
Yes, Isaac. Speak.
Yeah, Isaac. Yeah, Isaac.
Isaac,
Wait, what? What y'all telling me to do? What?
Yeah,
Are you
Isaac.
gonna are
if
you
he
gonna
gets
make
They
off,
are
calling
you
can
himself
Diddy
are
be
you
a
gonna
fan
make
base.
Diddy
spokesperson?
the are you gonna make Diddy the face of fan base when he get found not guilty?
Puff gonna get off and Ike gonna be like,
Come on,
niggas
man.
become the fan
Bruh,
No,
base.
y'all quit playing.
no, you can't have it both ways.
I
Now,
That's
come
not
can't.
on
it.
now.
That's not even our demo. That man,
No, now it's a demo.
Ooh.
Oh.
that's not
All
even our
right.
demo. That's not even a conversation to be had.
Trigger words. I like that.
Have
But
y'all
Hey,
what I'm
seen?
saying, but here's what I'm
That was
saying though.
slick. I like how you wiggled out of that.
But here's what I'm
yeah.
saying though. If he made a fan base page and came on here and didn't violate any of the privacy policy, anything like that, can't nobody stop him if he don't violate
Right.
nothing. Nobody can stop him. If all
Right.
the other apps kick him off, he's like, man, I'm gonna go on fan base and tell my side of the story. I'm supposed to kick him off.
But would you
Hey
advertise
man,
it? Would you advertise
Republicans buy
the puff,
sneakers
the
too.
puff, the puff page coming and you know? Would you like?
No, no, we wouldn't. No, we wouldn't. No, I wouldn't do that. No, I wouldn't do that.
We love that.
I think you'll be able to sell a book
Um,
for sure.
Yeah.
I think you'll be able to sell some level of a documentary or like, say, hey, here's my side of things. I think beyond that, that brand is on ice for a minute.
I think it's based on the person too, Nick, because somebody like Trump will partner with Diddy. It's about how a person how literally
That's great.
seriously no
No,
seriously
that's
hear me
really a
out no
great
hear me
idea,
out
actually.
so no so you heard what he said. I'm listening to the language. I like to extrapolate words because sentences are just a collection of words together. Trump said, well, the guy used to like me until I ran for politics, and I'll definitely take a look into it to make sure everyone's being treated fairly. Why does Trump need to take a look into Diddy's case? The feds got it under control. When he speaks like that, in my assessment, he's throwing a sign and symbol to Diddy to say, I got your back if need be. If push comes to, as
And
it often does, shove. Like
nah,
so,
Well,
it really
you know how Trump works.
you
it
Trump
really
need
just
3 million.
depends. It really just depends on the person's personality. At the end of the day, it's about how do you feel about people and the way that they view you. For the individuals that are highly disagreeable in society, I'll raise my hand to it. I know I'm one of them that really don't care about how people view them, whether it's bad or good. They don't have a problem with studying that's the Diddy because they're going to find a way to utilize the marketing of it to their favor. Candace Owens will probably do an interview with Diddy. DJ
For
Academics would do
sure.
an interview with
For
Diddy.
sure.
Vlad,
For
Vlad,
Who
sure.
else? Kanye would do an interview with
For
Ty
Diddy.
Tyson
sure.
that will bring
Joe
him a
Rogan.
string.
Joe
Keep
Rogan would
going.
interview
Keep
Diddy.
going.
Cat
For
Williams would
sure.
interview Diddy. I'm going
God
on
damn
mute.
it.
Shit,
And
Duran, hey, you
and like
nailed
you
that one.
said, he already did the dog whistle. Like Trump already gave the dog whistle. It's like, hey man, if Diddy get me 5 mil, I'll pardon him.
Well,
So
I will hold pause to that, because his arch nemesis is on a campaign to make sure that doesn't happen, and
damn.
I'm pretty sure
Who?
is
50?
willing to give up
Oh, 50.
Talking about 50
some
lawyer?
certain things in order to make sure that don't happen.
Goddamn cancer. 50 a cancer, man. He a cancer, man. He hold grudges.
And the fact that he went after his baby mama, and that's what a lot of people are not paying attention to. Diddy targeted his baby mama for a reason. This wasn't just a coincidence. He knew that this was his enemy's baby mama. So who better to turn into a sex slave than your enemy's baby mama and try to embarrass him and then it reverse unu'd on you?
Damn, Nick, you want to
First,
close out
first
on that one?
rule, first rule of Hollywood. First rule of Hollywood is to understand that Hollywood is its own dimension in America.
For
They
sure.
will find a way. And me living in this place for 10 years, Nick, I've seen some crazy shit. I was like, this is not America. Plus, people see this shit from TV and be like, oh, I want to go to LA. I want to move to LA. This is not America.
Yeah, you
And
gotta be built
people
for
will
that.
clout chase. They will clout chase off of Diddy. They will give him a platform. These same people in Hollywood. Here's the way I see it. My closing thoughts on this one. These people, man, they're Luciferians, they're Satanists, they support all of this stuff. These secret societies you guys hear about are real. I've been to parties, I've seen. I'm bullshitting. I've been in a lot of them, so I've seen a lot of crazy stuff. My wife and I just be like, "Yo, look a dude over there, such and such." These people, this is the stuff that they believe in, like literally. And here's this going to sound a bit crazy to some of you all. Some of the women that's going through this stuff are in the same societies, and they believe in it as well. But if they find an opportunity, hey, listen. I'm not the reason you're going to jail. You are. It's this rule where it's like, listen, it's not about what's true. It's about what becomes legitimate. You guys heard them tell the Wall Street dude that, hey man, I didn't do any insider trading. It doesn't matter. People believe you have. So it's become legitimate. So we have to let you go down. So this notion that everybody's just sitting back all innocent and no, I literally watched women pull out coke from their purse, sniff it, and then the dude get the charge for the drugs, and then they start crying and say that they didn't have anything to do with it. Same with I watch guys do it as well. This is a very different place. So did he leave? He either go over there with Russell Simmons and be on some monk shit, which is highly funny and questionable to me, or he come back to LA to the people that love him most, and he's gonna die on that same sword. These are not like rational, some of you all believe in like Christianity, like God fearing Christian people here in Los Angeles. I don't know if the devil is real. This is the devil's playground in Los Angeles. I got to tell you,
For
I'm
sure.
going on mute.
For sure.
So listen, it's 11 o'clock. I want to go ahead and wrap the call up. I appreciate everybody who was a part of the conversation. I always appreciate when we can have like mature discourse about stuff that's kind of wild. You know what I'm saying? Especially things that we all kind of toe the line on what we believe, who we believe, what we like. Our personal stances on things. And I appreciate how we can always keep it as a marketing, branding type of conversation because that's what this is all about. Um, I think it's what time will tell. I think we will soon see if what we said on this call. And to be fair, and I think a lot of you all can vouch for this. Some of these calls that we've had, weeks later, months later, something happens in the news, and we be like, "Yo, we was just talking about
Yep.
that." So I think we always seem to be kind of in front of a lot of cool conversations. And so I'm curious that maybe this trial wraps up soon, and then I don't know what I mean. There's no Super Bowl or anything coming up, but I am curious to see who decides, if anybody, to slap Diddy on their commercial, on their thing. Who stands next to him? Who avoids it? I'm curious about all of that. So
I'm
we'll
definitely
see.
watching the Joe Rogan interview because Joe Rogan is the person that's definitely gonna reach out for that.
Yo, Duran named about 6 7 people who would absolutely do that interview, and
Absolutely.
I'm curious to see who Diddy chooses to
Man, come
tell the
on over to
story to.
Yummy Diddy, man. We got you, man. Maya and not some crazy motherfuckers, man. We'll sit down with you. Come on over here, man. We got you, man.
Because
We'll make the
this
Christians
isn't.
forgive you and everything, man. I'm going
Yeah,
on mute. Yeah.
this isn't the Oprah Gale conversation. This is definitely
Right,
Dak,
right.
Vlad, Joe Rogan. This is definitely that. So I'm curious to see how it all plays out. But we do this call every single Monday, guys, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Fanbase. I appreciate all of y'all jumping on. Please, please, please tell a friend. Take this conversation to work, to your group chat, and just find out what they saying, man. Leave comments under my page on Fanbase, and keep the combo going. Tell a friend to tell a friend about this. And, as we continue to grow, what I'm saying, it gets bigger and bigger. So appreciate y'all. Love and respect. Can I catch y'all next Monday? Peace.
Peace out.
Later.
Peace y'all.
All right. Shout out to you, Blue Leo, for joining the live. Shout out to Caribbean. Okay, you did join the live, so I appreciate y'all. Well, I'll be back. I'll be doing this again. Check out my podcast. I do this. I really do this on Fanbase. Shout out to Fanbase for allowing me to be me without limits. Signing out. Happy Monday.